guys, this is Eric with Aspiring Music Writer. Tonight, this is going to be it was called Just Yackin. Now I'm going to change it up a little bit to Just a Yackin. And do this all on, record it and put it on my YouTube channel, which is Aspiring Music Writer. It's got a picture of me and Kevin Fowler on it. And tonight I'm drinking a cold Busch Light. I just got out of a Bible study. I've been trying to find a good Bible study. This is kind of a reintroduction of what I do. Like I said, my name is Eric Stone. I'm from a small town in Arkansas. I love music, reading, writing, a little bit of football, a little bit of baseball, eating, as you can tell. I write songs. I'm working on a novel, which I'll get into a little bit later. And I go to shows up at the Majestic in Fort Smith, Arkansas, or right on Garrison. It used to be, years ago, it was a rib room. Then it was a sound room. Now it's a Majestic. But if you like red dirt music, especially red dirt music, go there. They are awesome staff, awesome bartenders, great and friendly. Just an awesome place to hear good live, mainly Texas and red dirt music. So, and that's what I love. I got a tattoo of ragweed with both of them. But I love all music. I love rock. I love country. I like red dirt. I like Americana. I like a little bit of bluegrass. I love 90s gangster rap, hip hop. And I write all that, even comedy. I like comedy. My two favorite comedians that sing are Rodney Hamilton. Oh, shit. Rodney Carrington. Rodney Hamilton is a character he plays. And then Cletus T. Judd, which is where he makes fun of the songs. I can't think of what that's called right now. But that's what he does. I can't think of that song, or what that title is. But anyways, like I said, I'm going to start doing this regularly. Also, I'm going to be doing I need to quit saying no so much. I'm going to be doing a segment or deal called Dream Big and Walk by Faith, where it gets into more my religious beliefs and stuff like that. I'm going to do two here in the next week. I'm going to do one on dreaming big and not want dream big, and another one called Do You Believe in Angels? And what they have to do. I'm very religious. I'm very open-minded as too. So, I like to see both points of view. I'll get more into that on my Dream Big and Walk by Faith episode segments, whatever you want to call it, or whatever I want to call it, I should say. But like I said, I go to shows all the time up at the Majestic. I've been going to live concerts since I was about 21. Old enough to get into. I've been to other concerts before that, but I mean really going, regularly since I was about 21. I'm 35 now. I've probably seen over 600 to 700 concerts. I've seen everybody from Guns N' Roses, Aerosmith, Cheap Trick, the Rolling Stones, to Reed Southall Band, Cross Canyon Ragweed, Cody Cannon, The Departed, Jason Isbell, Ray Wiley Hubbard, The Wilder Blue, Chris Knight, Billy Ray Cyrus, the Oak Ridge Boys, Cheap Trick, I think I mentioned Cheap Trick a while ago, Creed, Blackberry Smoke, Bishop Gunn, Buck Cherry, and they actually signed my guitar. I'll talk about that more in Dream Big and Walk by Faith. I've seen, like I said, many shows. The first one I remember going to was Billy Ray Cyrus in Branson, Missouri on the Strip, and it was a very disappointing experience. It was right when his career started going downhill, but it was after Achy Breaky Heart, but before everybody knew who Miley Cyrus was, or Hannah Montana, which I did not watch. I was way too old for that. But I love Miley Cyrus. I'll get into that later. If you want to, I also do album reviews, and I reviewed her latest album, so check that out on my YouTube channel. It's Plastic Hearts Miley Cyrus Review or something like that. But he came out, he was like 2.5 hours late, did 3 songs left. I mean, that was it. And I was like, man, this ain't right, Of course, I was like 10, 11 at that time, maybe a little bit older, not very much. But I was like, and like I said, it wasn't long after that, he went downhill for a while. And then I was seeing the Oak Ridge Boys years ago. I don't remember much about that concert. The most I've probably seen, the artists I've seen the most would probably be Crosscut and Ragweed / Cody Cannon, The Departed. But anyways, like I said, this is what I do. I do album reviews on my Facebook. Eric Henry Stone. Eric Stone. Also look for Eric Stone / Music Connoisseur. It's a group I started where I post my reviews. I'm very detail oriented, and I've only had like 1 or 2 complaints. But like most people can go to a football game, and tell you every game or every play that's played, every call that was called, every flag thrown. I couldn't do that. But I could go to a concert and tell you every song that was played, how the crowd reacted, if they did told a story behind it, who wrote it, this and that, if it's a cover, so that's just what I like. But the last 2 concerts I've seen, it was at the Majestic, last 3, excuse me. I got to drink a beer. But the last 3 was Tanner Usery and Graycie York. Great, both of them. Tanner Usery, I heard about a few years ago, and I'd love to see him. He's going to be in Fayetteville this weekend. I don't think I'll be able to go, but if you like, I don't know how to define his music. Sometimes it sounds a little bit country, sometimes it sounds a little bit rock, but if you ever get the chance to see Tanner Usery, do it. You will not be missed. One of my favorite young bands right now, coming up through the Texas music scene. Great guy. He played Peacemakers last year down in Fort Smith, Arkansas. He was like the favorite one. I can't think of what that award's called. But, I mean, he's got slow songs, happy songs. Look up Josephine. That's a great song. If you like sad songs. Lately, the last 2 times I've seen him live, he's been doing Heartache Tonight by the Eagles. Like I said, young songwriter in his early 20s. Great band. Great I think it's 4-piece. No, wait, hang on. Kirk. I think a 5-piece band, sorry. I'm getting mixed up. Anyways, but go check him. And then Graycie York. She's a new girl on the scene. I love female singers. I don't have a lot of them because a lot of them, I think, not a lot of them, but the ones that I hear on the radio don't really write their own songs, and Graycie York does. I've seen Sheryl Crow in concert great. If you have a chance to go see Sheryl Crow, do it. My favorite would probably be two favorite female artists, probably Miranda Lambert and Sonny Sweeney. Miranda Lambert's more on the mainstream side, but she still to this day writes or co-writes her own songs, or most of them, you know. She works a lot with Jack Ingram. I know that last album she's come out with is her and somebody else, I can't remember. And they're from Texas. She's from Lindale, Texas. And then Sonny Sweeney. I love Sonny. I've met her a few times, told her that I would like to write songs with her. That's what I want to do, is to be a writer. I've written over 100 something songs now since 2016. But anyway, and then after that, I seen Reed Southall Band. That's another great well, they're not really up and coming, because they'll be, I think, third or fourth album they'll have out. I think third. They have Six String Sorrow. They have that last one. And then they've got one coming out, and it's going to be a killer. And I like them because he's not a showman. Reed Southall is not a showman. He's not a performer, but he has badass motherfucking songs. Some of my biggest favorites by him is Animals, Gun Shy, Clean Slate, and there's one, it's the very first one on the new album that's come out October 22nd. So check that out. Reed Southall Band, great young band out of Stillwater, up that area. I've never met him. The first few times I've seen him was during the COVID-19 quarantine, so you really couldn't see him. Or, I mean, he couldn't get out and, you know, which I think he's he kind of shy. I don't know. I never really met him. And the people that opened up for the band that opened up for Reed Southall is Ganon Freeman and CCREV, which is, I think it's Cross Country. I can't remember what it's called, but Ganon Freeman. Another great band, kind of that same area, kind of that country, greedy dirt, red dirt rock stuff. I don't know why I'm doing this. I talk with my hands all the time. But they've got, I don't know if they got an EP out. I know they got a few singles. I think they got one EP out. They're great too. I mean, I can't think of any songs right off my head yet. But check them out. If you like the red dirt, do it. I mean, great young band, very friendly. This on my guitar, I usually take, excuse me, I'm getting hiccups. I usually take a guitar with me everywhere I go and try to get the bands to sign it. I've got over 11 now, and like I said, I'll get more into that later. With my Beyond Them, Dream Big, Walk by Faith episodes or shows, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you want to call it. I got to figure this out. Like I said, and then the last one, which was so awesome, I got to meet. I didn't get to meet, but I went and seen Chris Knight, one of the greatest songwriters in America. Not just Texas, but just like everybody that I know just respects the man. And, you know, he don't have the greatest voice, but he's got badass songs. And it's like, I was reading somewhere years ago, somebody was interviewing years ago, and to make this, he writes songs that you can just see in your mind. It's like a story, a 4-minute story. He's like one of the best fucking songwriters I've ever met. I've never really actually met him, but I mean, listen to. He's written songs that have been recorded by Montgomery Gentry, She Couldn't Change Me, Gary Allen, Blake Shelton recorded It Ain't Easy Being Me. I think there's a few other ones out there. But just a great, great songwriter, and I mean, really hones his craft. I'm sure it took him a long time because I think he started out in 90, I think 90 or 91, or 99, I mean, sorry. And 99 was his first album. And, but he's from Slaughters, Kentucky. But he's real big in the Texas music scene. And he's not a showman either. He comes out with his band or solo, just sings his songs. Not really much of a talker, but like I said, the songs make up for him. But anyways, back to the deal with the interview. The interviewer asked him, "Would you ever come out with a novel?" He said no, and I was like, "Man, I wish he would." Just like "Down the River" is one of his biggest hits. Well, I don't know if it's a hit, but one of his most popular songs. My favorite is Becky's Bible. There's really not a favorite. I got a lot of favorites. Rural Route, which I didn't know this either, and also I found this out from his manager and merch guy that I met. There's a line in that song, Rural Route, that it goes, that he changed, and I thought it was just the live version, but Jason was telling me his manager and merch guy said he actually recorded the verse or the line you hear on the actual record, which is his second album. I can't think of what it's called right now. Pretty good guy, I think. Anyways, and then he changed it after he recorded it, and he's never sang it the first time ever, or the original way. It's always been the other one. And I'll get more into detail if you read my, I'm going to review on him probably tomorrow, have it up in the next couple days. So, and then, like I said, great songwriter. Down the River, Becky's Bible, Enough Rope, just Oil Patch Town, Cry Lonely. I mean, just a bunch of badass songs. Well, I've seen him, I think, 4 times already. And I remember he played up, and it was still in Fayetteville at the Walmart Amp when it was still in Fayetteville, not Rogers. And the 2 main headliners were Miranda Lambert and then Randy Houser on the big stage, and on the small stage, Chris Knight, Adam Hood. I can't remember who else was there. There's 2 or 3 more artists, but anyways, and what that night Miranda Lambert brought out the Pistol Annies. But what I loved about Miranda is she's like, if y'all didn't see Chris Knight's show, you're missing out, and just raved about how good he was, But it was, and the Wilder Blue opened up for them. The Wilder Blue reminds me of the Eagles, not in really music-wise, because they're more Americana, Texas, but in harmony. They've got awesome, awesome harmonies. Zane Williams, which he has his own solo career, and then his band, but they got great, great vocals. The last time I seen them, which I'm talking about, the bass player was sick, so they didn't have a bass player, but they had the bass drum. So it was a quartet instead of a quintet that night. But check out Hill Country, I think is the name of that first album. They said, Zane said they'd been a band for about a year and a half, and most of that was during the quarantine. So I wonder if they worked on their harmonies, because their harmonies are fucking out of this world. I mean, I can't describe it. You have to go look. And going to a live show and not a live, and on just listen to it, it's 2 different things in my book. One thing though I do miss, I know I'm getting off track, but one thing I do miss about seeing Crochet and Ragweed versus Kodakan the Departed, I'm not bashing them, it's just that when they were with Ragweed, Cody would come out in the middle of the show and he would do a few acoustic songs with harmonica sometimes. And you didn't know what he was going to sing. It could have been one of his own songs. It could be Robert Earl Keen, Tom Petty, Neil Young, Nirvana. You didn't know what Ragweed got me into Nirvana and Tom Petty the most, and Robert Earl Keen. But Nirvana or Tom Petty the most, because they were doing it, and they did. Well, I didn't see them do it, but on YouTube, You Know How It Feels by Tom Petty. Right now they're doing Save Me, and then a lot of times with their Dirks and Willie, he'll bring out his two kids, and they'll do You Wreck Me. But like I said, I love seeing them every time. I'd love to interview Cody Canada. Cody Canada I never have gotten to, but it's all in God's will. And like I said, I'll talk about more about that and my dream big and walk by faith. Like I said earlier, I'm a songwriter. Well, let me take that back. I'm not really a songwriter. Excuse me. Drinking another beer, Eric. I'm a lyricist because I don't put any music to it. Like I said, I've written over 100 since 2016. But always on this just a Yackin. I got to remember that too. A Yackin. I always talk about songs, titles that I've got or ideas. And like I said, I've written Americana songs, kind of Todd Snyder type songs. I wrote one called The Quarantine 2020 Blues. And I write Red Dirt, which to me, Red Dirt and country is two different things. I write a lot of country and drinking songs in general. I write gospel songs. I write hip hop songs. I've only written one full hip hop song, but I want to come out with an EP with about 6 songs of my rap stuff. I got one I wrote called Intro. I'm working on one right now, called The Virginity Tales. And it's kind of influenced by Too Short's Freaky Tales, if everybody remembers Too Short. But anyways, I'm working on right now. Working on Demons. That's gonna be a hip hop, like good and evil hip hop. I'm really influenced by Eminem. It's funny because I write mostly country songs. I write rock songs too, 80s rock and just regular rock. I'm wanting to write a few pop songs, but haven't been able to do that yet. But it may work out. But Eminem is one of my biggest influences ever. Not that he's white, but he was just one of the biggest artists when I was growing up. At that teenage years, we were just influenced by different artists. At that time, it was before I discovered Red Dirt and Texas music. And I was burned out on the country because it was going too pop, which I thought was too pop back then. And I'm like, well, it's got even worse now. But that's a different thing. And Eminem, now I did listen to NWA, but Eminem, just his words, and like I said, NWA was and is a big influence on me. But Eminem's the biggest just because, like I said, he was the biggest star, one of the biggest stars when I was growing up. I mean, NWA was dead and gone, not dead and gone, but long gone before, after I even heard of them. But, and then I got another song called, It Ain't Nothing But a Soul Thing. And that's going to be kind of a hip-hop funk song. And then I got a song called The Wrong Guy. And that's going to be from the point of view of a woman who's always picking the wrong guy. And then I got another song called Never Giving Up. That's going to be a hip hop song. I got another one I'm working on called Rise Above. And then I also write comedy songs, like I said before. I love Cletus T. Judd, Rodney Carrington. I got one I'm working called Get Drunk and Forget About It. And then I got another one called She's Only Happy When She's Bitching. And then another sad, and it's easier for me to write sad songs more than easier for me to write sad songs versus happy songs. Valentine's Day, that's not going to be a happy song. And then I got one called, I just actually thought of this coming back from church, which is weird, called, it's one of the lines I got is crawling down into the creature's home. But I'm just trying to call it The Creature about drinking and stuff like that. And then also, I'm a big reader. And I go through spells right now. I am reading Stephen King's The Stand. I tried to read it about a year ago, and I put it down and never picked it up until later. And I'm about almost not very far in because that book's almost like 1,400 pages long. And I'm on like 253. And I also got other songs, but I always talk about the newer stuff. Like I said, it may take me 2 months to write a song or 30 minutes. It depends. I wrote a song not long ago called Tug of War, and I started writing it about 3 months ago. I usually have, if I don't have a pen and paper with me, I got my notepad on my phone. But started writing at not Beef O'Brady's Boondocks up in Fort Smith on 71. I went and watched a guy named Heath Moulton, Letters from Jet. Check them out. Great Southern rock band from Arkansas. They used to be called Willie Stradlin, but I'm not getting into that, but now they're called Letters from Jet. And it's pretty cool how they got their name. And I'll get into that later in another video. But anyways, and I wrote like the first verse and the chorus. And I was like, man, I just don't like it. I don't like the way it's going. So I just put it off for a while. And then I was doing something. And I was like, I'm going to try to pull up that song again. Rewrote the whole thing. I didn't keep nothing that I had other than the title called Tug of War. I mean, like I said, it took 5 minutes after that to write it. But it probably took 2 to 3 months to figure out how to usually what I'll do with my songs is I'll get an idea or a title in my head. And I will go through that for a while. And that's why I take anxiety medicine. Because my brain never shuts off. And anxiety and, stuff like that. But my brain's always going, so it needs to shut down. But like I said, I've written, 107 songs, I think, the last time I looked. I think I probably got 40 more I'm working on. And these are just the newer songs. But anyways, like I said, we wrote Tug of War. I wrote one. The second one that I started writing was a song called Honky Tonk Tonight, I think. It was like a dance, early 90s influence, dance, country song. I started writing it that in the mental hospital, and I get more into that. And I wrote it like a year later and finally got to it, Like I said, it just, because I don't look for melodies, I just look for words and how they rhyme and what goes together. Now, some of them I've got one called Beautifully Broken that I'm actually going to turn into a novel or a short story. I don't know what it's going to be just yet. Like I said, I'm reading Stephen King's The Stand. That's where I was getting with that. Sorry, I got off track. I do that all the time. Excuse me. And it's kind of probably, if I end up reading the whole thing, probably the biggest book I'll ever read, unless I read the Bible from front to end. But I've got an uncut version, so I'm weird like that. I'm old school because I got a vinyl record player. I got cassette tapes, 8 tracks, CD still. So I hate digital. I like it, but I don't, because I like it because in the truck or in the vehicle, you can just plug it up your phone and, listen to anything you want. But I like the CDs. I like the physical copy. I like reading the liner notes, who wrote the song, stuff like that. But anyways, I said I'm getting off track. I'm also writing a novel, my debut novel, which I hope to be published in the next year, or written and start looking for people to publish it in the next year, called One Last Dance with the Devil. Now, how I came about this was that I was driving around one day years ago. Years ago, like 2006. No, it was later than that. Probably like 2009, 2010, something like that. And no, it was. Anyways, there was a song by Chris Knight, like I said, I've seen before, called Hard Edges. It was on an acoustics album that he come out with before the version I listened to that has a banjo, and it just, something about that banjo just made it more rural. I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for, but just different. And it's about a girl that grows up poor, has no way in hell to get out, not a chance in hell to get out of her certain situation. She ends up certain situation. So she ends up stripping at this dive bar and this and that, and get stage drunk because she don't want to face what was really going on. I took that. It was called Hard Edges, and then a Crocheting Ragweeds, Sick and Tired, about a girl in the video. There's a stripper that goes off and then comes back, and also it's based off Tracy Lords. If you don't know who Tracy Lords is, she's an ex-porn star, or adult film stars, same thing. And I didn't know who she was or nothing, but honest to God, the first time I went to college, I was in Hastings. Like I said, I love to read, and I just seen this picture of book cover of this girl in a very sleek red dress that said Tracy Lords, Under the Influence, or whatever it was. I don't know. I was like, that looks like a pretty good book. But she ended up being a porn star, and she actually made one video that was actually legal. She did it like when she was like 15, but she looked a lot older. So it combines all kind of that, and then I put my own twist on it, So that's kind of where One Last Dance with the Devil goes. What it's about, this girl named Prudence Mayflowers. She's an RN at a fictional college or a hospital. It's based off where I live. But anyways, and she's been an RN for 4 or 5 years. Her ex-boyfriend comes back and tries to kidnap her daughter, but there's a crooked lawyer or crooked judge in this town called River Valley, which is actually what they call where I live. The area is called River Valley, and I just named the town River Valley. It's kind of based off Fort Smith, Arkansas. But anyways, and kidnaps her. He goes to jail for a little bit, but Dad gets him out of it. Goes back, tries to kidnap her again. And the little girl, she has a little girl named Jasmine Mayflower. he tries to kidnap the little girl. Well, in self-defense, Prudence shoots her old boyfriend named Ralph Anderson. God, I can't talk. Ralph Anderson. And so she ends up going away for a while, coming back. She loses her job. All of a sudden, she starts to go through depression. Can't find a job other than, stuff that she don't want to. Ends up starting doing drinking a lot, then getting into pot. And then it escalates from there. In the story, there's a guy she dates for a little bit. He's an EMT, finds her on the street, damn near dead, takes her to the hospital. She's going through suicidal thoughts. So he takes her to a mental hospital, or checks her into a mental hospital. She goes through that, finds God, repents, and then she goes back on the street to help other girls in certain situations or that are living off the street and stuff like that. It's got a lot of good versus evil, pretty much. And that's a lot of stuff I write about in my lyrics or anything I like. Or, books I read. I love that good versus evil stuff. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of Bible stuff into it. And I hope to convert some people. Whatever God helps me do, I hope this book helps a lot of people in certain situations, Like I said, I'm no preacher by no means. I couldn't even tell you 95% of the Bible. But I'm going to try to talk about it in my Dream Big and Walk by Faith series that I'm going to be doing. And then also, I know this is kind of a long video, but also I'm going to do a song. I did this for a little bit called Influenced. It's about artists or writers or whoever that just influenced me. I talk about them, give a little bit of background, and then why they influenced me and this and that. And I'll probably share some of them. But that's all I've got for this episode of Just a Yackin. So, like I said, just please subscribe. I'm a positive person most of the time. I'll be honest, like I said, I'm trying to build up my YouTube channel and audience and this and that. So give it a subscription, give it a like, comment, whatever you want to do, share it. Like I said, the next episode I'm going to be doing not of Just Yackin, or Just a Yackin, sorry. It's going to be Dream Big and Walk by Faith. About Dream Big. And if that don't take too long, how do angels play a part in my life? And I will see y'all later.